All right, so in a sure sign that not much has changed, I was mowing the grass. And I come inside after my shower and I see that the news is broken that Spencer Knight has come out in terms of why he sought help for the NHL Player Assistance Program. So the article is from the Hockey News. Let's just jump right into it. It says, as the Florida Panthers were burning their way through the playoffs last spring, Spencer Knight would say the same thing to anyone who inquired about the reason for their unlikely trip to the Stanley Cup final. He would say, I told people it was because they got rid of a lot of dead weight. I don't like to hear the kid talk about himself like that. As Florida Panthers approach day one of training camp on Thursday, their backup goalie will be back with them for the first time since he left the team to enroll in the NHL Player Association Player Assistance Program in late February. While the Panthers were rallying to make the playoffs and shocking the hockey world with their inspiring run, Knight was at his parents' home in Darien, Connecticut, dealing with an ongoing case of obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, that made it impossible to continue playing in the NHL. In a 1 hour interview with the Hockey News for an in depth story for the upcoming goalie issue, Knight talked about what led him to seek the help of the Player Assistance Program and how he has come out the other side with a renewed perspective on both his life and career. I was spiraling in a direction that I didn't want to be going, Knight said. Knight said that it all started in 2019 when he was a freshman at Boston College. For reasons he can't explain, he started excessively washing his hands. The trips to the washroom to run his hands under the tap increased to the point where he talked to his parents about it after that season and thought he might need some help. But it never really hampered his ability to function. He was doing well in school, was one of the best goalies in U.S. college hockey, and even won a gold medal with Team USA at the 21 World Junior Championships. That all changed in December when he took the net for a game in Winnipeg and didn't feel well. He allowed 3 goals in that game and was pulled. By the time the Panthers charter arrived home later that night, his fever had spiked and he was shaking with chills. Turned out to be simply a flu, but that was when something in Knight's brain clicked and he began to have thoughts of contracting diseases and getting sick. I can't imagine with the fear porn that we've all been put through the last few years. I can't imagine why he would have that reaction. From that time until he left the team in late February, Knight was having trouble sleeping and it got to the point where he couldn't function. So instead of being part of the Panthers' run to the final, he watched it with mixed feelings. He was thrilled for his teammates, but felt terrible about not being with them. One of the feelings you get when something like this happens is you just let everyone down, Knight said. I never wanted to feel like a burden. Knight spent the time working one-on-one with an OCD expert and talking to others who manage the disorder in their daily lives. He feels he's much better equipped to live life on life's terms now. And while he faces the time of uncertainty and perhaps a period of adjustment to get back to his level of play, he's at peace with that and is prepared to approach things in a much more healthy way. And he's just 22 years old, meaning he won't have to endure years of suffering in silence. The truth is out in the open now, and Knight doesn't have to hide from anything. And he believes that will ultimately make him a better NHL goaltender. His last quote is, I can still be the player I want to be, and I still believe I can be one of the best goalies in this league. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year, maybe it's in 3 or 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I know what I'm capable of accomplishing. It was there before, and it has been there the whole time. Now, that is definitely not something I think any of us would have expected. If you're a Spencer Knight fan, do not go to Twitter and read the comments to the post. People are not nice. It's just I don't know what's going on with human beings at this particular moment. But it's not just sports fans or Spencer Knight fans. People have just generally just lost their freaking Cocoa Puffs. They've just lost them all. And in terms of Spencer Knight, boy, that doesn't sound like I'm going to try to put a positive spin on this. I have a feeling he's going to start the season at the AHL level to get himself back into a groove, and that's okay. That's all right. Knowing that, I'm still a little bit surprised that we traded in Lyon for Stolars, but again, I'm not going to question the Panthers' goaltending excellence department. If they think Stolars is better, Stolars is better. I can only hope for the best for Knight. I do have a question, though, and I'm not trying to be any certain way, but I wonder if the Panthers were aware of that when they drafted him, because he says the problem started when he was in college. Now, it didn't seem to affect him then, so maybe he hadn't seen a doctor about it. We may learn more. This was just a little blurb from an hour-long interview, so I can't wait to see how that comes out. Either way, it's good. At least now we know. Now people can stop talking about it was any kind of substance, or I reported on the story that somebody had the idea on Twitter that it might have just been he was upset for not, for being sent down to the AHL. The timing and the way that all went down still seems a little wonky, but I don't think that this is something he's made up. So this is obviously the issue that he has. I don't see any reason why he can't, beat that and still become what we've expected and hoped him to be. But I don't, have you saying this year, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years? Well, Bob's not going to be here 5 more years, kids. You got a couple of seasons before the wheels are probably going to fall off of Bob due to age. Trust me, I know about those things. Take this year, get yourself settled in. Who knows? You never know. But we could be sitting here by the end of the season, and Knight could be in net because something happens to Bob or something like that. But to wrap it up, I would expect him, hearing this and knowing the whole situation, I would be surprised if he started the season at the NHL level, even if it's just for a couple of weeks, right? Even if it's just the first 5 or 6 games that Bob can go. I don't think we have any back-to-backs. Even if it's just for a couple of weeks, I suspect that he'll be at the AHL level, which probably means he's going to make the team and not go down. So that's about that. All right, that's it. Colin, I'll be live tomorrow on Flying Fluffy Football for the 1 o'clock game and then the night game with the Dolphins. Appreciate the support. If you have anything else that you'd like the Panthers to do, let me know. I'll go outside. I'll mow the grass or wash the car or something, and then they're sure to do something.